Corie Blount, 11-year NBA career. You get drafted by the Chicago Bulls, have a nice career there, and then you come sign with the Lakers in 1995.
Yeah, 93. Yeah, 94, 95.
94, 95. What was your first impression of going? I mean, you go from one great franchise to another. What was your first impression of the Lakers?
Well, I always was a Laker fan, first off. So once grew up in Monrovia, California. So when I had the opportunity, man, I was stoked because me and Nick Van Exel had been talking about, man, just think if we played together in college, what if we get the opportunity to play together in the pros? And, I had told Nick, like, man, you need to make that happen for me. And, Nick at the time was a rising star. And I think he went and talked to Jerry and Mitch and pulled some strings for me. So he made it work out for me.
And then you get to LA. What'd you think of coming back? You have your family. Were they able to come to the games?
All the above, family, friends, everybody who was a Laker fan was just enthralled at the fact that I was coming home. I was excited about coming home, just being in LA, that's the difference. Growing up in LA, you see one side, but then when you're a Laker or someone that's real popular, you see another side of LA. And I was very happy to see that side of LA once I got back.
You're talking about the glitz and the glam, right?
And being a Laker, yes.
So you played your games in the Forum.
Yeah.
The legendary Forum. What was it like to play in front of that crowd?
It was amazing. The most amazing thing for me was the fact that I've always known where the Forum was. So, you drive by there and you're going through Inglewood and you see the Forum, but never did I aspire that I was going to be playing in that arena. So once I got there and we were playing there, all the celebrities, we had a pretty good team. It was just a whole exciting time. So the Forum Club, all the above, it was, it was really the best time of my life as a pro athlete.
Yeah. The celebrities are still at the Laker games, but when you were playing at the Forum, who was the most exciting person that you saw courtside?
Well, it's twofold because first of all, growing up, you would always see Jack Nicholson. So I never knew him, I saw his movies, of course, but I was always waiting for that moment for me to go on the Forum and look to the right and see Jack Nicholson. So once I saw that, I knew I was solidified, like I am a Laker and I'm in the Forum. And the other one was Muhammad Ali. I had ran into Muhammad Ali when I was playing with the Bulls. I was driving and his bodyguard had flagged me down to the side of the road. And I had this new Mercedes and he got out and he shook my hand. He knew who I was. And then fast forward, when I got to the Lakers, he came to the game and I saw him sitting there and I waved at him and he did like this. And I said, oh man, he remembered me, you know what I mean? So I invited him to the back of the locker room. I told him, come on to the back. And me, Shaq, we all took pictures with him. So that was the most exciting time for me when I brought Ali. It was because of me, Ali came in the locker room. So I always feel good about that.
Oh my gosh, were the guys so excited to see him, your teammates?
Oh, of course. Yeah, we all took pictures with him. Like that was a global icon at the time and a living legend. So I still got my picture and I'm sure all the guys do too.
So 1996, Kobe's rookie year. What did you make of Kobe, young Kobe?
I thought he was amazing. And the reason I say that, because I saw him before he was actually a rookie in front of the fans in the arena. I saw him in Summer League.
Uh-huh.
So when he first came to Summer League, I tell the story, like I told all my boys, like, man, I think I just seen the next Michael Jordan. Wow. And they didn't believe me. Oh man, he can't be that good. I'm like, man, this dude is special, man. And so his first game, he had 36. And he averaged 36 the rest of the Summer League. So it was just an amazing time. We went from having about maybe 1,500 to 2,000 people come to Long Beach Arena till it being sold out. So it was all because the phenomenon of Kobe Bryant was there, and he was just playing unbelievable basketball. Great kid, well determined. It was fun. I felt like I was one of the first ones because Jerry and them told me he was coming, and they wanted me to acclimate him to our offense. And so I got a chance to see him in his rawest form, just working on his game, and the rest was history, man. We've been associates and friends throughout my 11-year career ever since that time.
when Kobe came in, he had a lot of confidence,
Yeah.
as he should. Did you ever have kind of a check yourself rookie moment with him?
Oh, we all did. We all did, man. Kobe just used to, I guess he used to take losing like it was the last game ever. Like, man, come on, man. We got another game, man. We'll get them back, Kobe. Oh, no, man, we just lost. Like, dude, chill out, man. We're going to get back. We got next. You know, he didn't want to lose at all. And I remember that because me and him got into a little situation. I think he had kicked me the ball or something, and he wanted me to kick it back. And I took the shot, and I didn't make it, right? And he was pissed. And so we always joked about that. And then he just always reminded me, like, man, I ain't gonna never forget you didn't I ain't gonna never forget you didn't pass me that ball, man. So I said, man, that's over. That's water under the bridge, man. Now we trying to win a championship. You know what I mean? So that's how it was. He was just he was well determined, well focused. But at that time, he was just so raw that he wanted to try to do everything, and just became one of the best players to ever do it.
You did also play with one of the other best players to ever do it, in my opinion, Shaquille O'Neal.
Yes.
Shaq must have been a lot of fun in the locker room.
Oh man, Shaq was wild, man. That honestly, that whole team, when I think about it, we all were characters. You know, we all were characters. I mean, we had some. I was a funny guy. Eldon was a funny guy. Shaq, Vlade. A lot of people don't know Vlade was just unbelievably funny. So it was me, Eldon, Sean Rooks, and Shaq, who used to always just be in post drills and working on each other's games. So back then it was just us four banging against each other and acting silly and talking trash and getting it done. But Shaq was everybody knows Shaq for what he is, man. Shaq is one of the most genuine, plus the funniest guys you ever want to be around.
Tell me about Vlade though, since a lot of people, like you said, don't know about his funny side. What was his personality like, or his sense of humor?
Man, Vlade, at least back then, Vlade was silly, man. Like you come in the locker room and he'd be like, hey, you know I'm gonna kill you today. You know what I mean? like man, hey Blount, you have nothing for me today. I've been working on this move. I'm going to kill everybody today. So you know, just stuff like that. Like, because I see him on when he was playing for the Lakers, but to actually get on the floor and interact with him, man, I found out dude was just one of the funniest characters on the team.
So after you retire from the NBA, you went back to University of Cincinnati and finished your degree.
Yeah.
Criminal justice and human resources.
Yeah.
Why was that important to you?
Well, I was raised by my great grandmother, and she told me that I was the first one in my family to ever have an opportunity to go to a 4-year school. And when she told me that, I didn't really take it for what it was worth, because I was, you know, playing basketball mostly, and I got my degree, my opportunity because of my skills. So she used to always make fun and say, well, you know, you made it there because of those feet, but you better use that brain and get that degree. So I said, Grandma, I'm gonna get my degree. But unfortunately, my last year, going into my senior year, the NBAs was having tryouts at that time. So I ended up leaving early to start trying out for the league. And I remember I called her, I said, Grandma, I don't think I'm gonna be able to graduate on time, but I promise you I'm gonna come back and get this degree. I got an opportunity to go play NBA ball. So I made that promise to her, and you know, unfortunately she passed away before I got a chance to do it, but I made that promise and commitment to go back to school. So immediately after I retired, I enrolled back at the University of Cincinnati. And man, when I walked across that stage, man, I knew I had broke a generational curse in my family. So I was just so excited and so proud of myself. I knew I did it for my wife, my kids, and my family. So it was just an honor, and I knew I did it for my great grandmother because I had made that promise.
5 kids, right?
Yeah.
Are they following in Dad's footsteps at all? In terms of
3 of them are playing basketball, 1 is playing volleyball, and 1 is just a computer whiz. So they all have their own different identities, but yeah, 3 of them is playing basketball right now.
Computer whiz.
Yeah. He wants to sit on the computer and just code and do all that stuff, and I love it. So, because I'm trying to learn it myself.
We're like, good, we need one of those in the house, because
definitely
I'm terrible at IT. So
right, me too.
That's great. So are you, for the ones that are playing sports, playing basketball, your daughter's playing volleyball in college, are you a hands-on kind of dad? Are you coaching from the sidelines? Are you letting them do their thing?
I'm more of an advisory type of inspiring parent, I guess, because I understand that when you have a coach, no matter what the parents say, you got to follow the guidelines of what the coach is telling you. So I could say do this, do that, but if the coach is saying, well, I don't want you to do that, I want you to do it this way, I found out that the easiest way for me is to just give advice, give my personal opinion, and then I always follow it up. But you got to do what your coaches say. I think the only reason I made it because I was very coachable and believed in my coaches. So I tell my kids the same thing. Your talent is going to take you so far, but if you get good coaching, it could take you the rest of the way. So I'm one of those parents that say, man, I'm going to let the coaches do their job and try to support them. Now, I will call them out, but I try to stay a little distance from that and let the coaches do their job.
That being said, so many kids nowadays that are coming right out of high school and going straight into the NBA, and maybe they would have had a chance to play for one of the great college coaches. Do you think that they are missing out on something because they don't have those 1 to 4 years under great coaching?
That's a tricky question because you have your players like the Kobe Bryants and the Kevin Garnett's and those guys who came out of high school and took it to the next level. But for the average, I would tell any kid to experience college, man. I loved my college time. My whole time at the University of Cincinnati was unbelievably fun. I played for one of the hardest coaches in the country at that time, but the fact that camaraderie I had with my teammates, man, I wouldn't trade that for nothing in the world.
Yeah. If you could give advice to your NBA rookie self, go back in time and give advice to yourself, or give advice to the young guys in the NBA now, what would you say?
I would say, Corie, focus on your craft. Consider this a blessing. Nourish it, cherish it, and work your butt off and stay focused. I mean, it's so easy to be distracted by so many things when you're in the NBA, not just from family and friends, but business opportunities. And your whole goal or purpose at that time should be the best NBA player possible. And the bad thing about it is you don't know how fast it's going to go. Like, there's no way I thought that those 11 years would fly by as fast as they did. So I would just definitely say live in the moment, but focus on the opportunity of being an NBA player and try to be the best NBA player possible.
Is there anyone in today's game that reminds you of yourself when you were playing?
I probably, if somebody's watching this, they probably clown me, but I like a young Dwight Howard. Yeah, I mean, to me, he had energy. He could jump. He could block shots. But I padded my game. Who I wanted to be was Horace Grant. Coming up, I thought that he was the prototypical power forward. Him and Karl Malone. I wanted to mesh both of them together and make me. Unfortunately, the scoring wasn't there like Karl Malone, but I had the toughness, the tenacity, the rebounding, and the athleticism to kind of make my way through 11 years. So I'm proud of that for a fact.
Are you proud of your jersey hanging in the rafters at Monrovia High School?
Man, one of the best accomplishments I could ever wish for and pray for, because I know that that's where it started for me. If it wasn't for Coach Mel Sims believing in me and taking me to that next level, I wouldn't be here doing this interview. He saw something in me that just made him want to help me go to the next level. And, at that time, if you'd have said, Corie, are you going to be an NBA player? No way possible. No way possible. But, he ended up coming and telling me that, man, you could go to college. You have a good skill set. You're a good kid, and I'll help you. And he did just that. He took me by my hand and walked me down to Santa Ana Junior College. And then I had success there. And then I went to University of Cincinnati. I had success there. And then I was the 25th pick by the Chicago Bulls. So I really owe it all when it comes to basketball to Coach Mel Sims. So got to say, I love you, Coach, and thank you.
And you had that opportunity to say it in person, I'm sure many, many times.
Oh, many times. Yeah.
25th overall pick that's pretty awesome. You go to the Chicago Bulls. What do you remember about draft night?
Well, the crazy thing, me and Nick was together. We went to Coach Hug's house. They had a little spread there, and we're watching the draft. And Nick was projected to be the 8th or the 9th pick. So we were all just sitting around waiting for them to call Nick's name, and they didn't call Nick's name. So then I had already had a conversation with my agent in the Bulls that I was possibly going to get picked by them. So once they called my name, even Nick jumped up, gave me a hug, like, yeah, man, you did. I'm like, yeah, man, but we got to see where you're going to go. You know, he was concerned about me and I was concerned about him. Then when he got drafted by the Lakers, it was like, we was just excited because during our college days, he's from Kenosha, Wisconsin. So he was a big Michael Jordan fan. I'm from Los Angeles, so I'm a big Magic Johnson fan. And we used to argue back and forth for who was the greatest. And then, you know, for it to work out where I ended up going to the Chicago Bulls and he ended up going to the Lakers, you know, it was just an amazing thing. So we cheered. And, you know, I thought I always can remember that I was always wondering how Nick took being drafted the 36th pick, because right after the draft, we had to go do press conferences and everything. And I never forget, we were walking and he said, man, I know I can play, man. I'm just thankful for the opportunity. He said, I'm gonna show him that I can play. And I was like, man, we already know you got game. So that ain't gonna be no issue. And man, when he got to LA, man, he took the franchise by the horns, and everybody rolled with Nick at night, Nick quick, you know, all that above. And he played well. And then he worked it out where I can come be a Laker. So, you know, I also love Nick Van Exel for doing that for me too.
How awesome was it to play together?
Oh man, like I say, being a Laker at that time, that was the best time of my life. You know, coming from college, that group that I had we were all closely bonded and hung out with each other, loved each other. And that first 2-3 years with the Lakers was the same way. Me, Eddie Jones, Cedric Sabalas, Sadell Threes, Anthony Pillar, Pig Miller, you know, all these guys, Cedric, just Vlade, Eldon, we just all hung out together. We were the Lake Show then, so we was trying to push that brand, like, man, the Lake Show is in the building, and we just had a good time. It was a fun time to be a Laker at that time.
Were you and Nick ever roommates?
In college?
Yeah.
No, I was a center. He was a guard, so
okay.
You know, that probably wouldn't have worked out, because I know it'd have been many nights. Man, why you ain't pass me the ball? You know what I mean? So we were right up the hall from each other. We all stayed in the same dorm.
So it makes sense. Obviously, you're from Monrovia. You grew up loving Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson made his comeback, although it was brief, while you were with the Lakers.
Yeah.
What was that like at the time? You know, for you on a personal level, and also just the hype of the media, Magic coming back.
Man, it was amazing. The amazing thing for me, because I think I'm the only player to be on the team when Michael Jordan came back and when Magic Johnson came back. So, you know, when Michael came back, it was like unbelievable. And then I get to LA, and then Magic talking about he coming back, and I'm just like, oh my God, is it me that's doing this to these guys to make them want to come back? But yeah, I was just, man, I remember the whole press conference when Magic he would come in and talk about his intentions on coming back, and everybody was just like, man, yeah, come back, man, come back. And he came back, and just to be on the floor with Magic, practicing with Magic. I would go to UCLA where we would have open gym and play against him, and the thing about it, you wasn't gonna never win, because if he couldn't beat you, he was gonna cheat you to get that win anyway. So you couldn't argue with him. So every time he played, he won. But it was just a great feeling to know you were on the floor with Magic Johnson at that time.
Is there anything else you wanted to touch on?
Well, yeah, I wanted to talk about what I'm doing now.
Tell me. Yeah, what are you up to these days?
Yeah, my company, Graduate Inc., where we acknowledge and inspire academic achievement. It was spurred from, you know, the fact that I graduated, the only one that graduated in my family. So from that, I just wanted to do something that could promote academics and education, and started the apparel brand. When everybody came to my graduation, I had these shirts that said, had to graduate a Bearcat. And then when my family wore them in, everybody at the school was like, man, where you get that shirt from? So that's kind of where the idea spawned from. And, you know, we just been slowly growing the brand and trying to partner with different organizations. We just ended up doing a deal with the V School, where they do coding and different things to help kids understand computers. We're really excited about that opportunity because, you know, we've been really wanting to partner with the right organizations to get this brand recognized for really what it's all about. So that's one other opportunity that we're working on. And the brand itself is just about academic achievement. You know, all these other brands are about sports and you know, being cool. We want to be cool, but we also want to have that message about education at the same time. And I think it's important at this time now with everything that's going on. The spotlight is being taken off of education, and I'm hoping that this brand, you know, could possibly bring some of the spotlight back on education.
Why is it important to put that spotlight there?
Well, I think without, I guess one of my favorite verses in the Bible is Hosea 4:6, where it says, "My people are persecuted for lack of knowledge." And when I heard that verse or read that verse, it just resonated with me. Like, man, the lack of knowledge, that's basically education. You know, that's the key to being able to level the playing field, to open doors and give you an opportunity. And for me, just the opportunity to go to college, because I was someone who never thought that would happen. And when it happened, I just know that that's the key to be able to sustain and be successful in this country, to buy into education. So that's what I'm all about now, and just trying to promote and help these kids see the value, not just kids, but adults too. You know, it's never too late. You should constantly try to educate yourself. And I'm on a quest and a thirst for knowledge, just trying to better myself all the time. And I think with Graduate Apparel, hopefully this could be the door, the thing to get people to say, man, I'm gonna see what their company is all about and take a look inside the brand.
How do we find the brand? Is it online?
Yeah, it's www.graduateapparel.com. We just started putting out ads and different things. You're like right at the right time, because we just launched our website. We've been working on this thing for a long time, so we're excited and hoping everybody get a chance to go check us out and make this the brand of the future.
Anything else that you want to get in?
Yeah, I know you had asked me about a Kobe story, and this is the one I love telling, because, you know, this is later in my career. I'm with the Bulls. I'm with a young Tyson Chandler, Eddie Curry, and, you know, and I was the old vet at the time. And I remember I called Kobe, and I was just like, well, man, I think I'm gonna hang it up after this year. We were talking, and he was like, oh, you got to finish as a Laker. You know, he just casually said that, and I'm like, yeah, I would like to. And so about a month later, I get a call from Phil Jackson, like, man, I think I want you to come back and join me to help these young guys. And I was just like, man, no problem. You know, I was so excited. So just for Kobe to pull that, he said, man, at least I came in with you, now you get to leave with me. And I was just like, man, that's what's up. So I didn't even make it through that whole year, because my knees was, you know, I was just wore out at the time, beat up. But just the fact that he had enough respect for me to, you know, at least give me that honor to try to finish as a Laker. So that was always made me respect and love him. And then the other story that I like to tell was when I was playing with the Bulls. We had just beat Portland, and we were coming, me and Tyson Chandler, I went to the gym early. So we're walking in, and Kobe pulled up. And I'm like, I always called him Rook. I'm like, Rook, what's up? You know, we shake hands and stuff and started laughing about old times. And he said, you know what, Blount? Since you back in LA, I'm gonna let y'all win all the way to the fourth quarter. And I remember Tyson Chandler was like, man, who this dude think he is? You know what I'm saying? Like, how he gonna control? What do you think he gonna control the game all the way to the fourth quarter? And he was like, yeah, I'm gonna let Blount win all the way to the fourth quarter. So the game start, we up. I'm playing in and out of the game, playing good. We talking trash, and we up the whole game. And I'll never forget, I was laying on the floor, and he got up at the fourth quarter. He was like, I hope you enjoyed yourself. I think we were up like 12. So I'm like, man, get out of here. Man, he put on a show. He put on a show. And every time he scored, he was looking at me like, it's over, it's over. Man, get out of here. So it was just, you know, that was him, man, the ultimate competitor. And then I ended up coming to the last game, you know, and that's kind of where I knew he did have a special, I had a special place in his heart, because the ball boy or somebody was like, man, Kobe want to talk to you. And I had just walked.
You mean Kobe's last game?
Yeah. I had just walked in the gym, you know what I mean? And they was like, hey, Kobe want to talk to you. He was in the locker room. And so I'm like, all right, I'll be in there. And they're like, no, he want you to come now. I guess he had found somebody had told him I was there. So I walked all through security, walked back there, and was like, Rook. And he looked up like, see Blount, you know, so we dapped each other up, and man, you know, we said some things I don't want to say all here, but it was just an unbelievable feeling, man. Like, I said, man, what you gonna do tonight? He's like, man, I'm gonna finish strong, man. I'm gonna finish strong. I was like, well, best of luck, you know, and I see you after the game. So, and everybody know what he did, man. For him to perform like he did was just amazing. I love the Lakers. I love Jenny Bush. Everybody, I appreciate everything they did for me, teammates and everything. It's just been an awesome ride for me to just get an opportunity to come reflect with you guys. I appreciate it also.
This has been awesome. Thank you so much for your time and for taking a trip down memory lane with us.
No problem.